The internet is a vast, dark ocean. Most of what washes ashore is harmless, but sometimes the collective nightmares of the digital world crawl into our reality. In June 2009, on a forum called Something Awful, a user named Eric Knudsen, under the alias Victor Surge, posted two black and white photographs. They looked like ordinary pictures of children playing from the 1980s, except for one detail. In the background, blending into the shadows of the trees, stood a figure. It was unnaturally tall, thin, wearing a black suit, and possessed long, tentacle-like appendages. But the most haunting detail was its face. Or rather, the lack of one. It was a blank, pale void. Victor Surge called him the Slender Man. The images went viral instantly. The internet didn't just look at the photos, it began to build a mythology around them. Users started sharing fake historical documents, medieval woodcuts, and old cave paintings, claiming that this faceless entity had been stalking humanity for centuries. He wasn't just a modern internet creation. He was treated as an ancient demon reawakened by the digital age. As the myth grew, so did the rules of his existence. Unlike traditional monsters, Slender Man does not run after his prey. He doesn't need to. He simply appears in the distance, standing perfectly still, watching you through the trees or from the edge of a dark hallway. The moment you see him, it is already too late. He targets the vulnerable, primarily children and teenagers, drawing them into the woods where they disappear without a trace. But his most terrifying weapon is what he does to the human mind before his victims even vanish. This is known as the Slender Sickness. If you are stalked by him, your reality begins to fracture. It starts with intense coughing fits, often accompanied by blood. Then comes the paranoia, the undeniable, suffocating feeling that eyes are on you from every dark corner. Finally, severe insomnia and terrifying hallucinations take over, driving the victim into absolute madness. The myth truly exploded into pop culture with a YouTube web series called Marble Hornets. Styled as a found-footage horror documentary, it followed a young filmmaker who discovered strange tapes left behind by his friend. The tapes showed distorted video signals, terrifying audio static, and a silent, faceless man in a suit always lingering in the background. It made millions of viewers ask themselves a disturbing question. Is this just a story? Or is someone actually recording a real entity? For years, Slender Man remained a chilling piece of internet folklore, a ghost story told around digital campfires. But on May 31st, 2014, in the quiet suburb of Waukesha, Wisconsin, the fiction bled into the real world in the most horrific way imaginable. Three 12-year-old girls, Anissa Wire, Morgan Geyser, and Peyton Leutner, were celebrating a birthday with a sleepover. They were best friends. The next morning, they went into a nearby wooded park to play hide-and-seek. But it was a trap. Inside the woods, Anissa and Morgan turned on Peyton. They pinned her down, and Morgan stabbed her 19 times with a kitchen knife, narrowly missing her heart. They left Peyton to die in the dirt and walked away. Miraculously, Peyton managed to crawl out of the woods onto a nearby road, where a passing cyclist found her and called for help. She survived. When the police captured Anissa and Morgan walking down a highway, they asked them a simple, chilling question. Why did you do it? Their response sent shivers down the spine of the entire world. They said they had to kill their best friend to prove that Slender Man was real, and to become his proxies so he would protect their families in his mansion in the forest. They genuinely believed that if they didn't commit this sacrifice, the faceless man would murder their families. The Wisconsin stabbing forced society to look into the dark corners of the internet. It proved that a fictional monster, born out of a Photoshop contest on a forum, could possess enough psychological power to drive real children to commit attempted murder. Anissa and Morgan were found not guilty by reason of mental disease and were sent to psychiatric institutions. But the shadow of the entity they feared still lingers. Is Slender Man just a creepypasta? A piece of clever fiction that got out of hand? Or did the internet, through the collective belief of millions of people, accidentally summon a real tulpa, a thought form brought to life by human fear? The next time you walk past a dark forest at night and you hear the wind rustling the leaves, don't look back, because some monsters don't stay on the screen.